A proud mother posted a video to social media showing her daughter as a newborn compared with now. It seemed innocent enough at first, but once viewers took a closer look at the beautiful baby girl, they were outraged to see what the woman had done to her. While social media comes with its benefits, it can also be a magnifying glass through which the opinions of thousands of strangers converge. So, when a young mother introduced her infant daughter to the online world, she quickly found herself drowning in a torrent of condemnation over a choice she had made regarding her child's appearance. 5-month-old Lara already had a huge following on TikTok, thanks to her mom documenting various moments of the infant's life. The precious little girl has racked up nearly 1 million followers for nothing more than being adorable. However, when baby Lara's fans noticed something about the child's appearance, it sparked a major backlash for her mother. In a video post captioned "Show your baby as a newborn is now," Lara's mom compared a clip of the baby less than 24 hours old to a clip of Lara months later. As the camera pans closer to the baby, who is still lying swaddled in the hospital bassinet, viewers notice something on the baby's ear. The camera captures a small, silver earring in the shape of a flower. Internet users realized that the mother had the child's ears pierced just hours after she had been born. Lara hadn't even been discharged from the hospital before her mother scheduled the minor cosmetic procedure for her baby girl. Of course, as soon as viewers discovered this, a flood of negative comments filled the post. Many questioned why the mother would choose to get a child's ears pierced so young, even before she had left the hospital, Upsicle reported. Some even reasoned that the decision should be left up to the child. "I just do not get it, and it hurts just like when they are older. Don't kid yourself," one commenter wrote. "It's their decision if they want their ears pierced, or is it? I'm going to let my babies decide when they understand these things," another argued. "Maybe it's just me, but the day my children were born, getting their ears pierced was very low on my list of worries," another said. The backlash was large enough for the mother to respond to critics of her decision. In a follow-up video, she explained that ear piercing is one of the services medical professionals at the hospital offer. "When you get your ear pierced when you are 2 or 3 days old, you don't feel pain like when you are 1 or 2 years old. The holes are made by the neonatologists themselves in the hospital at birth," the mother fought back. "It's my decision." The mother went on to explain that the practice of newborn ear piercing is normal in many cultures and is commonplace in her country. She insisted that just because some are offended by the practice doesn't make it inherently bad. Unsurprisingly, the internet hasn't accepted her answer. There are still thousands who have expressed their anger and disapproval over the mother piercing her child's ears so soon after birth. Regardless of where you fall on the idea of piercing a newborn's ears, insisting that it's wrong because the child didn't make the decision concerning their own body is a terrible argument. Parents make nearly every decision for their children's bodies throughout their lives until they are mentally and physically developed enough to handle the consequences of their own decisions. But whether or not the pros outweigh the cons, the baby doesn't seem bothered by her piercings, either as a newborn or months later. Perhaps the bigger lesson is in the consequences of sharing our children's lives with complete strangers on the internet. The debate over infant ear piercing is not a new one, and it often varies greatly depending on cultural and regional norms. In some countries, such as those in Latin America and parts of Europe, piercing a baby's ears shortly after birth is considered a rite of passage or simply a cultural tradition. This practice is viewed as a normal and even cherished part of welcoming a newborn into the family. However, in other parts of the world, particularly in Western cultures, the idea of piercing a baby's ears can evoke strong opinions about bodily autonomy and the rights of the child. Critics argue that procedures like ear piercing should be postponed until the child is old enough to consent, framing the debate around issues of consent and unnecessary pain. What added fuel to the fire in Lara's case was the timing of the piercing. For many viewers, it wasn't just that the baby's ears had been pierced, but that it happened so soon after birth. The idea of a newborn undergoing even a minor cosmetic procedure while still in the hospital was shocking to some, as they felt it indicated misplaced priorities on the part of the mother. Supporters of the mother, however, were quick to defend her decision, pointing out that Lara appeared to be healthy and well cared for in all the videos. Some even praised her for following cultural traditions and questioned why strangers on the internet felt entitled to criticize something that clearly did not harm the baby. The debate also shed light on the broader issue of how parents are judged for their choices, particularly on social media. But it seems that every parenting decision, from what children eat to how they are dressed, is subject to scrutiny when shared online. The anonymity of the internet often emboldens people to voice their harshest opinions without considering the context or cultural significance of the actions being criticized. Interestingly, some commenters pointed out the hypocrisy of the outrage. Many of the same people who condemned the mother for piercing her child's ears likely had similar procedures done to them as infants, but didn't question it because it was normalized in their own families or cultures. This raises an important question. Are we upset about the act itself or simply because it falls outside of our personal cultural norms? The controversy also highlighted the blurred boundaries between private life and public opinion in the digital age. By sharing her daughter's life so openly on TikTok, the mother inadvertently invited not only praise but also judgment from strangers around the world. While social media can create supportive communities, it also opens the door to harsh criticism and even online bullying. Despite the backlash, Lara's mother continues to post content featuring her daughter, doubling down on her stance that the piercing was a harmless and culturally appropriate depression. The incident serves as a reminder that parenting styles and traditions vary widely, and what might seem shocking to one person could be perfectly normal to another. Moreover, this situation underscores the importance of empathy in online interactions. While it's easy to pass judgment from behind a screen, it's much harder to understand the full picture of someone's life and the choices they make. Lara's mom may have made a decision that not everyone agrees with, but that doesn't necessarily make her a bad parent. Ultimately, the story of baby Lara's ear piercing is less about the act itself and more about the societal implications of parenting in the digital age. It's a case study in how cultural differences, personal choices, and the internet collide, creating a storm of opinions that often lose sight of the human beings involved. So as the debate continued to rage on, some individuals used the opportunity to share their own experiences and perspectives. Parents who had chosen to pierce their children's ears at a young age shared stories of how it was a meaningful tradition in their families. Others recounted memories of wishing their parents had pierced their ears earlier, as they found the process more intimidating as older children or teenagers. These personal anecdotes added nuance to the discussion, showing that the issue was not as black and white as it first appeared. On the other hand, some medical professionals weighed in, emphasizing the importance of hygiene and safety during procedures like ear piercing, particularly for newborns. They explained that, when performed by trained professionals in a sterile environment, the risks were minimal. However, they also cautioned against non-medical settings for such procedures, especially for infants with developing immune systems. This input helped clarify that the method and setting of the piercing were just as important as the timing. The controversy also sparked broader discussions about cultural relativism and respect for traditions. Commenters debated whether it was appropriate to impose personal or westernized views on practices that are deeply rooted in other cultures. For some, the outrage seemed less about the act of piercing itself and more about discomfort with unfamiliar customs. This broader lens revealed that much of the criticism could stem from cultural biases, whether intentional or not,